So today we are going to talk about laws of vector addition, or you could also call this the properties of vector addition. So you can call it anything that you like. So you can call it either the laws or the properties. So they should. So first of all, let's write vectors. Vectors should follow. Vectors should follow the following. The following laws in vector addition. So they should follow these laws in vector addition. So the following laws that they should follow, the first one we are going to talk about is commutative. So commutative law. So what is commutative law? If you have done some math courses, you might probably heard the word of commutative law, and it's basically the same. So if vector A, vector B, and vector C are three vectors, so since there are three vectors here, yeah, they're gonna be three vectors, then me saying vector A plus vector B plus vector C is the same as saying vector B plus vector A plus vector C, or it is the same as saying vector C plus vector A plus vector B. So no matter how I change the vectors, they are going to be the same. So if let's say if I had vectors, then I could add a b c, or like this. So they are commutative. I don't think I explained it well, but I think the commutative law is very easy to understand, so I don't think I must explain it much further. So another one, the second law that we're going to talk about today is associative law. So associative law. So what is associative law? If vector A, vector B, and vector C are three vectors, then so if there are three vectors, then me saying vector A plus vector B plus vector C in brackets, which means I'm adding vector B and C first, then I'm adding this later, is the same as saying vector A plus vector B plus vector C. So what I'm doing over this bracket tells me that I'm adding this part first of all, then I'm adding the later part. So this is what it's talking about. So if this is kind of difficult to understand, I don't think this is very difficult. This is very like very everyone should know this kind of thing. But think about numbers. So over here you can say 1 plus 2 plus 3 is the same as 2 plus 1 plus 3, and which is same as 3 plus 1 plus 2. So that is the law basically. But since 1 to 3 are scalars, this does not exactly work, but it works in a similar way. 1 to 3 are scalars, so they are not vectors, so I'm not keeping 1 to 3 over here. And also over here, it works the similar for scalars. So it will be 1 plus, in the bracket it will be 2 plus 3, so 2 plus 3 will be 5, 5 plus 1 is 6. So, or I could write 1 plus 2, which is 3, and plus 3 it will be 6. So no matter where I put the brackets, it's going to be the same answer. And finally, the third law that we're going to talk about, let's see if I hope it fits. It might not fit as well. So distributive law. I don't think I'm need to explain the laws very much, since they are very basic laws, and I think most people should have already learned about them. So if ABC are vectors, are three vectors, and alpha, so this is just some symbol, you can use any symbol, I'm choosing alpha in this case, is a scalar. So scalar meaning a number in this case, a scalar quantity, then it can a scalar quantity, it does not mean it can only be a number, it can also be a length, time, anything, but a scalar quantity. Okay, so I'm just saying length, a number, just for simplicity's case. So for in that case, alpha bracket vector A plus vector B plus vector C, bracket close. I think this is called braces, not brackets. I think this is brackets, this is curly brace, and this is brace. I'm not sure at all if they are not, but I'm gonna say these are brackets. Um, um, I might tell you what they are in the end of the video if I actually check it out. I think I will check it out. So if you're multiplying the vectors, then you can distribute them to individually. So you can multiply this to that, and this to that. So to understand what this thing does, it just extends the length of your magnitude. So it just changes the magnitude as well. Sometimes the unit, if this has a unit, then it will only change the magnitude. So let me actually check what are they called, the braces. So I actually checked it out, and I was actually wrong, because I don't know these stuff. Like, I don't know all stuff. So let's write this note. This is only for knowledge. So let's write K for here. K for knowledge. So this thing. So this thing. So this thing. I can't draw that. Okay, this thing is called a bracket in a single word, or it's also sometimes called closing square bracket. So that's what this is called, and this is called a brace. Okay, so this is called a brace, and or this is also called closing curly bracket. So you might have heard of curly bracket more than brace, because most teachers say curly bracket, at least from what I have heard. And this one is called so this one, so I think making this another color will be much better. So let's take them, let's make them white, and they are actually called parentheses. So I think you might have heard of parentheses, but you might have not known that these are called parentheses, since some teacher refer them as parentheses, but they do not state that they are called parentheses. They just say keeping parentheses. So not sure how it is pronounced. I said parentheses. I think it's how it's pronounced, but not sure. So this is gonna be actually it for today's video. So not much to talk about. So in the next video, we're actually gonna do a question. Till then, bye bye.